You'd be surprised to know that some of the most successful women of our time face challenges just like you and I do.
Hi, I'm Amber.
And I'm Lisa. We're authors of the book Leading Ladies. Discover your God-grown strategy for success.
We invite you to join us in an honest, messy bun conversation about the things we'd rather keep hidden in our lives.
Some of those things can keep us from moving forward in purpose.
So grab a cup of something delicious, kick off your shoes, and hang out with us for the next 30 minutes. Good morning, everyone. I am so thankful we are here on Mother's Day weekend with our great friend, Jackie Marushka. We're about to embark the final marathon stretch to the publishing of the book. And it's just been incredible. Lisa, do you have any big plans for Mother's Day weekend?
You know, my family tends to be a little secretive with these things. I'm sure I've been told it includes dinner tomorrow night. I am sure it includes food and all of my children and grandchildren, which is really special. So that's the plan. In the meantime, today, I'm just going to work and act like it's just a typical day, even though I know surprises might be happening somewhere.
Woohoo! Surprises. We love surprises.
Yes.
Jackie, your mother is probably watching.
I hope she is. I don't know. But her name is Evelyn. And Amber and Lisa, happy Mother's Day weekend. I also heard that all next week is now called Mother's Appreciation Week. So y'all just max that out, milk it for all it's worth. Just soak it up.
Okay,
yes.
so
we will squeeze every ounce of goodness out of next week.
I have a gift right in front of me that probably it didn't last enough through the weekend, but these, my tiramisu macarons from my good friend at Sweet Dreams Bakery. I ordered a dozen of these and probably am going to consume them myself.
You gifted yourself. Happy Mother's Day to you.
I love it.
You have to give a gift. Did the dogs give a gift to you, Jackie?
No, but in spirit, they want me to go out and buy myself some flowers and maybe a spa day. At least that's what I'm thinking. But really, happy Mom's Day to you and to my mama, Evelyn, and my sister, Kristen, who's a great fur mama. And saying that, everyone out there who's a fur mama, y'all, make it a great weekend too. This belongs to you also.
Buy yourself a gift from your dog.
Or your cats.
Or your cats, or your gerbils, whatever.
Or Amber's, your reptiles.
My reptiles.
I've got a dear friend named Devin O'Day, and she has an entire farm of horses, donkeys. I mean, I just went to Ireland with a group that she brought. And the reason I went is she said two words. She said donkey sanctuary. And we went and visited a donkey sanctuary in Ireland. So I'll end it there, but happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
We're happy to have you with us, Jackie. I know that Amber's known you for many years, and I have heard nothing but great stuff about you for a long, long time. And I am just excited that I finally get to see you on Zoom meetings and chit chat with you. It was an honor to help work on this book and have you be a part of it. We're thrilled to death.
Jackie is one of those friends that you're like, I can't believe this woman is my friend.
Oh, no.
It's incredible. This woman was the youngest vice president of publicity for Sony Provident Music. And she is one of the most elegant spokespeople in Nashville and nationwide. She is an elegant spokesperson for all her clients, which have included, let me say, Lana Del Rey.
I worked alongside a lot of really great people on different teams. So I'm thankful.
You've been in the biz for a long time. I've known Jackie over 20 years. You wouldn't know that from her beautiful skin and youngness. She is the CEO and founder of Marushka Media, a publicity company that was founded at her dining room table. And that is incredible. And it speaks the salt she is in the marketplace where she works, not only for her excellence in what she does, but also for her, I would say, an angel to the publicity world. And she's been our angel for this project. I am so excited. Can't believe the book is in CCM magazine online. And the heart that this woman has is indescribable. That's what I would say. So, Jackie, I just love you. I love your story. And she's a person of humble roots, so she probably wouldn't say these things about herself. She is on the publicity team for the Academy Awards, girls, and she has walked many a red carpet in her beautiful gowns, but I think the most beautiful gown you wear is your heart. Aww. So, Jackie, I just want to kind of get a feel of what made you branch out into the publicity world. Was this something that was always on your heart? Because I know you had very small beginnings. So tell us about the beginnings and how that bridged over to publicity.
When I was a kid, I fell in love with light. I grew up in New Mexico. In New Mexico, you've got clear blue skies just about every day. You've got those really nice summer rains in the afternoon, the shadows of the clouds on the ground through that beautiful light. It just fascinated me. And every time, it's like looking at something, when you turn it a certain way in the light, it shines differently. Your perspective is different. And I thought, oh my gosh, I knew from a kid that perspective and storytelling is something that I wanted to do. I didn't know how. But sometimes, God lets you figure out the how as you go along. My grandfather was my hero. He had the very first Texaco station in 100 miles.
Wow.
He and my grandma Sylvia saved for years to open their little franchise. They had a general store and a fruit stand and pigs and a farm. This was all that they scrapped for, buying acre by acre by acre at a time. He was called the mayor of Velarde, which is my little town I grew up in, and everyone loved him. He invested in so many people, he and my grandma both, and they never said a word to anybody. It's just what you did. So by example, I learned generosity, kindness, and love, and just keep your mouth closed about it. Not everybody needs to know what's happening and that kind of thing. And I just thought, my mother and father also, they had the work ethic. I don't know that I ever saw my parents doing less than one job. Like they had a professional job, but they were working on the farm. They built their own house. And my mother, happy Mother's Day again, she started as an elementary school teacher. When she and my father got married, she quit school so my dad could go to school. And he graduated. He went into the Navy on the GI Bill. Then my mom went to school and she finished. And every time there was an opportunity for her to apply for a grant or a scholarship, she was working to go get an additional degree. She would do it. She earned 2 master's degrees and certificates in business administration and things like that. So I asked her once, why do you keep doing this? And she said, Jackie, education is everything. She's going to be mad at me for telling this story, but if you can clean toilets and you can write, you will probably always have a job. Educate yourself and work hard. So those are the 2 things that stick in my mind. Is it's a work ethic. It is accessing education and learning as much as you can, applying that and then sharing it.
I have to say, on so many levels, we don't really think that someone who has had the success that you've had, we don't always attach the humble beginnings. What strikes me is, Jackie, your family sounds an awful lot like mine. They worked very hard to get what they have. They took every advantage of the moments that were given them, no matter what that looked like. Mom put dad through school. That is real life. That is where we learn the foundations of success, doing what it takes in the moment. That's something that we often forget when we see people who appear to be successful at the top of their game, whatever that looks like. We often think they're superhuman, or they must have gotten an extra dose of something from God that we didn't get. And the reality is we all come from a very similar place, just maybe different privileges based upon where we fall in society. We still have to learn to work hard.
Yes.
We still have to learn to make the most of every moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bottom line.
And you're still a toilet cleaner.
I am. I know where you're going with this. Do you want to go into that? It's part of the chapter in the Leading Ladies book that's out May 23rd. The BTS behind the scenes that you wanted to know or didn't actually want to know. It's in there.
Just a little bit plug.
What has kept you servant-hearted while getting to walk the red carpet?
Oh my gosh, it's the example of humility from my grandparents and my mother. I didn't actually answer your question about how I got into this, but it is that storytelling thread that ended me up here. It's kind of by accident. But that humility, I remember my mother saying, and I'm not saying, oh, hey, look at me, I'm so humble, but I think there's arrogance. And then there's a healthy sense of, I am thankful. I am blessed. I am going to run with the gifts God gave me. And thank you, God, for every gift. Every morning I wake up and I pray all the things I'm grateful for. And I pray to become unoffendable. Mm. If somebody offends you, what does that mean? That means you've put yourself above that person and, oh, they offended me. Wow. If somebody can offend you, there's something going on in your heart that you need to work on. And I pray that every day. I'm like, ooh, don't humble me. I don't want that, but keep me in check so that I don't get off my path. And seek first the kingdom of God, because in that, every whisper, I just want to know that every step I'm taking is God led. Because if you just focus on that and you're really listening, you don't have to think about anything else. It just happens. Did I oversimplify?
I love it.
No, I love beautiful. It. That's beautiful. It is profound when we think of it that way. Get up every day. Ask God to help you not be offended, because when you are offended, it usually means you're placing yourself above the person that offends you. I don't think I've ever had anybody put it that way. And that is going to be a lesson I want to tuck away. I want to tuck away and keep it with me.
Yes.
Easy to apply. Maybe not so easy to bite off and chew on, but easy to start applying.
I think live unoffended. We need to put that up on a billboard in front of our mirrors every day. Right. How many times do we get offended in our day if we're brushed aside, or people don't say hello to us, or people don't acknowledge us, and we can be offended in the coffee shop because the barista didn't look at us and take our order on time. Yeah. We live in a society where we are offended easily. And I think that women, if we really want to shine, we just need to live in that. And I am you just need to write a book just about living unoffended.
My grandma would wake up 4:30. They were early birds. I think that's where I get it from. I love a good sunrise. I love a bad sunrise. I love all the sunrises. But she would wake up, she'd have the bacon going, she'd have the eggs going, she'd have the sausage and the percolator coffee. And did your grandparents ever have that coffee can of grease sitting on?
Yes. Can I just say the food tastes so good?
Yes, it does. I thought, this has been here for 5 years, Grandma. You really going to keep that? She's like, don't touch it. In her little Spanish accent. I loved it so much. But my grandpa would sit down and he would pray and he would do this: forehead, mouth, and heart. And I'd ask him, like, Grandpa, because they were Catholic. I'd say, why do you do that? And he goes, for God to cover your mind, your words, and your heart. So what that is, it's like, think good, say good, and do good. And really see the best in people. I think everything that I've ever learned came from those moments at the Texaco station.
Oh my goodness.
It makes me think too, Jackie, you are a believer. Christ is at the center of all you do. You give him all the honor for these things in your life. What is it like to take that experience into the workplace where not everybody has the same belief system that you have?
You lead with kindness. And I also feel like I had somebody the other day tell me, we don't know if you'd get this because of your faith. Well, I brought up the Colossians, I think it's 3:27 came to mind. And that is, work unto the Lord, not like you're working for men. So everything I do has got to be for him first. And then, I don't want to mess anything up, but if I give it to him, somehow it filters through and all the things land the way that they're supposed to for that scenario, for that moment. Now, sometimes I will be removed from something or someone will be removed from my life. And in the end, it always just becomes a blessing. I look back and go, oh, that's why that happened. But in the moment, I was like, oh man, did I do something wrong? And I've learned by looking back, just, follow your gut, stay prayed up, and do your work thoroughly. Like figure out, poke the holes in the things, bring your best recommendations. And then a client, whether it's a record label or an artist or an author or a producer of a film, they will either take your recommendation or they won't, but you can only give what you're filled with, right? So if you're filled with all the things that are going to guide you in the right path, then I just point to the Holy Spirit for this one is that comes out just as it's supposed to. I never really think about the things. I don't overthink things anymore. I used to. And when I used to, oh my gosh, the stuff that would happen was just like, oh, I was like, I wish I could redo this and redo this and redo this. But now it's just, and maybe too, it's a little bit of experience and learning from burning your hand on the hot stove a couple times.
That'll do it for you.
That'll do it for you. So, being prepared, being filled with the right spirit, the right intentions, doing good and looking for the positive in all the things, but also discernment, learning how to step away from things that just do not work. If you get a prideful attitude about, well, I'm going to make this work, even if it kills me, that's probably not going to be the best outcome for all involved because your pride is leading. There's a guy named Wayne Dyer who coined a phrase that is edging God out, and it's ego. Your ego rears itself up. Think about it. You're edging God out. You're putting yourself in front of where you really should be led by or who you should be led by. So I know that's a long and maybe sort of out there answer for how do you bring it to the boardroom. I follow my gut and lean on experience and study hard and try to walk into every meeting as prepared as possible, whether it means having read the book that you're working on, having listened to the full album that you're working on, all those things. Just show up ready to do great work.
I was just thanking God that we have voices like you all through our book, and it's just constant confirmation. I mean, we want to multiply the Jackie spirit. We want to multiply because that's the spirit and the heart of God. Amen. It's how he wants us to be. He wants us to look at ourselves and see the goodness that he's put inside ourselves. He wants us to shine because we're helping light each other's flames. And that's the kind of person Jackie is. And I might have to get tissues, ladies. Seriously. I might have to get up and get tissues.
I just want to say that it's God. It's just God. Mm-hmm. And any one of us can take our eyes off the ball. And it's not me. It's him. And that's where that is.
I think the hard part is when we are just floating through life on the daily. Yeah. And we're bumping up against all of the people that we bump up against, whether it's family members, spouses, children, or whether it's workplace, whether it's community service, our churches. We tend to get so busy with all of the buzz that we stop to look at ourselves carefully. And I think one of the keys to actually being the kind of person that you seem to radiate, Jackie, is to say, I want to reflect what Jesus is. I want to reflect these good things, these good attributes. I want to get rid of self. I want to become more of him and less of me. And sometimes we don't realize actually these deep conversations that we can have as women, where we can talk about these things, are part of that process. We just get so busy. We get busy with the buzz and all the to-dos, and we stop having these kinds of conversations to keep us accountable and to keep us on track where we want to be, where God's designed us to be. We weren't meant to go through life and not be able to find this type of community in the body of Christ.
There's an intentionality to it also where busyness can be an idol. lots of things can become an idol, and we don't look at it that way because it's not been framed that way for us before. But busy is an idol. I had this kind of come to Jesus with myself, and I thought, I'm going to just change. It's stopping. All the distractions are stopping today. This was a couple of years ago. I got up early in the morning. I started getting up and I just started purposefully spending time with God and purposefully doing my workouts, purposefully eating right, like all the things to take care and pour into my health, my mental well-being, all those things, finding my weaknesses and asking for guidance. And then just, where do I spend my time? God, what's next? Not for me, like, oh, where do you want me to go? But how do I serve? How do I show up?
What's next?
I know that we were talking about this in our early conversation, and kind of God brought to my mind, Jackie's on the red carpet. She has some of the most beautiful dresses that I've seen. And God kind of put the picture in my mind. He's like, you're always on the red carpet. We're always, ladies, on the red carpet showing up. The red carpet is his love, his grace, and his sacrifice poured out for us. And how are we going to show up on that carpet? It doesn't matter if we have our PJs on. It doesn't matter if we have our hair nicely coiffed or the makeup. It actually means, how are you going to position yourself on the carpet? How are you going to show up? Are you going to accept the invitation to show up?
Right.
And I think that's essential. God is just wanting us to show up, just show up. And he's wanting to shine through us. Our designer, not Vera Wang, but God himself, the creator of the universe. And I tell you what, he makes the best designs. He makes the best designs. And the price tag on that is priceless. Jackie, do you have any closing thoughts that you would like to share as we get to the end of our podcast?
First of all, how did this time go by so fast? Because Amber, you've taught me a lot about writing, editing, and your whole approach to things is about being intentional. Mm-hmm. And that's a lesson for me. And I look up to you and I thank you for that. And Lisa, same for you. You have such a beautiful voice and such a great heart to serve others. And here you are behind the scenes teaching others to use their voice in the most beautiful way. So I wanted to point back to y'all because that matters. That is so important. And I respect you both so much for what you give and just how you show love on a day-to-day basis, even in the littlest things, your texts, your emails, your encouragement, just beautiful. And in this book, this brainstorm you had to bring this book of encouragement to life for a lot of women out there who may not know that they can. And we're all here. All the ladies in this book are here to say that you can. And we're here with you. We're going to rally around you, stand together, lift you up, and encourage you to your best and God's best.
I love it when God gave me the vision of the platform of this book. He says, ladies, I want you to use what you have to invite other ladies to take the stage with you. Maybe other people who wouldn't have the voice, who wouldn't be seen. God sees you. He hears you. He loves you. You have something to give. No matter what adversity, he wants to take everything of muck that's in your life. He wants all that goodness of the muck to come to the top and to shine on the carpet regardless. So
no matter where your carpet is.
Yeah.
Where it's laid.
I don't know. I should put a red carpet in my bathroom. Maybe I'd clean the toilet more often.
I love it. Y'all, you know what? It's funny because you're saying that and I picture myself walking down the aisle at Kroger. Wherever there's music in a grocery store, at Target, I'm going to be dancing. I used to be embarrassed by that, but I'm just like, you know what? I am not going to let embarrassment or ego steal my joy. So if you see me dancing in Kroger or Target, I invite you to dance with me.
Yes, exactly.
We'll have a dance party right there in the aisle.
Yep. Let it your red carpet at the Kroger.
Even if I can't be on Casey Superstar, I'm going to be singing. I'm going to be singing
loud and proud. That's my answer. Right?
Exactly. Lisa, do you have some final housekeeping stuff?
Of course I do. If you haven't gone to our website, leadingladies.life, we would love to have you join us there. Visit, take a look around. We've got all sorts of coolness going on. If you haven't signed up to be a VIP, please do so. Get that free download from Michaela Weaver. We want you to have this free download. I believe wholeheartedly God will use it in your life as well.
Exactly.
We love you guys. And for those of you out there celebrating Mother's Day, we pray God's blessing upon you and your relationships with those you nurture. And we just want to say thank you for joining us.
And my dogs are saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there right now.
Thank y'all.